So we're rounding third here and heading for home. If door number one is innocence and door number two is guilt, and if we use innocence to have a decent experience of ourselves, right? If we use innocence so that we can generally have that kind of experience of ourselves, then whoever we're doing that in the system with, we will have this experience of them. No way around it. When we have this experience of them, so that we can have this experience of ourselves, then our possibility of belonging with them and they with us is pretty much shot, right? One of us is guilty and one of us is not guilty. If I increase my not guiltiness, I increase your guiltiness. I decrease your not guiltiness. If we increase our innocence, then the possibility of finding others suitable goes way down. And if we increase our guilt, the possibility of finding ourselves suitable goes way down. What a pickle. We'll take the events of the last 18 months or so, or maybe coming up on 2 years now. I'm speaking about the events of the campaign and general election in the USA in 2015 and 2016. The more we belong where we get the good case of innocence and they have the case of guilt, the more the polarity increases, right? The more there is the other and there is us. And that thing snowballs on itself. I am pretty sure that in the presidential election in 1956, that I'm pretty sure we could find some people with passionate points of view about it, but I'm kind of sure that for the most part, if we went to interview a voter for Adlai Stevenson, the Democratic candidate, and or voter for Dwight Eisenhower, the Republican candidate, I am pretty sure that they would not revile each other. Except, as a society, we are starting to revile each other really intensely. And as we have noticed in the last few months, it gets worse when it gets worse. Or it gets better when it gets better. Which is to say, if we are becoming more and more and more clear about the moral failure of the other side, our feelings, our case, get more positive about ourselves and more negative about them. And then, of course, because of confirmation bias, we expect what we expect, we confirm what we expect, they go ahead and confirm it. And I could make all kinds of jokey statements right now about how wonderfully the other side is doing that this evening for most of us, right? There are a couple of people here from Australia who have the good fortune to be entirely neutral about this, but they feign an orientation toward our side just so they can belong. Apparently in Australia, from what I was hearing recently, absolutely nobody pays any attention to politics. It doesn't matter that much. It's all kind of the same there. Maybe 1956 style here in the US. Stevenson, Eisenhower, yeah. What are the chances that any of us in this room, whatever our stance politically, what are the chances that we could wake up in the morning with a reversed polarity? Zero. Right? What are the chances that anyone could argue us into a reversed polarity? Zero. Because the facts, and this is not an innovation in the current administration, it's just human wiring. The facts do not matter. What matters is the feelings. And what seems to be happening is that the feelings have so intensified and the innocence has so coagulated itself and required, therefore, that the guilt be so stark and obvious at the other side, that has happened so thoroughly that there is no chance to change. What a bummer. We can, if it's this way at the beginning, this is not an evergreen talk here. Nobody has to watch this in 40 years and have it all be completely contemporary. If in April of 2017 it's like this and we're 80 or so days into the event, what's it going to be like in 3 or 4 more? We cannot belong with ourselves if we go for guilt. And we cannot belong with them if we go for innocence.